You said at some point your father had anal sex with you. Is that right?
Yes.
This is the story of the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Erik, who were convicted in the 1989 murders of their wealthy parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, a crime that shocked the nation and triggered widespread media attention. In their defense, the brothers claimed they were driven by years of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse at the hands of their father, which pushed them to a breaking point.
And how old do you believe you were when that happened?
I was in 6th grade. I'm pretty sure I was 12.
And was that within a year of the episode you previously described at 11?
Yes.
Now, you've mentioned earlier that he had made some efforts to accomplish anal intercourse with you that had been unsuccessful because it hurt you?
Yes.
And therefore he had stopped?
Yes.
And that was before the incident when you were 11 when he was violent, is that right?
Yes.
Now, when you were 12, do you recall the day that he succeeded?
Yes.
And was that a gentle process or not?
No, not at all.
What was it, Mr. Menendez?
It was very, very painful.
And do you know if on that occasion anyone else was in the home besides yourself and your father?
No, I was alone in the house with my dad.
Now, was there a part of your bed that was removable?
Yes.
And what was that part?
It was a wooden slat that there were many of them under my bed, but he had taken one off and left it off.
He being whom?
My father.
And when had he done that, removed one and left it off?
Early on.
I don't know what that means.
Early on, when I guess I was, before anything bad started to happen. It must have been 9.
Before you were 11?
10. Yes.
But you were living in Pennington?
Yes.
And what would he do with the slat that he took off from the bed?
He would wedge it underneath the door, underneath the doorknob, and the carpet.
So that no one could open the door from the outside?
Yes.
And I think you've already said your mother never came to the door anyway.
No.
So did you have in mind at the time who that slat was supposed to keep out?
Well, I thought it was to keep out anyone from coming in the room. It just happened that no one came to the room ever, but I didn't know.
Who were the candidates? Who were the other people who lived in this house?
My mother and my brother. And at some time, Diane.
When Diane lived with you?
Yes.
Now, on this particular occasion, nobody else is home?
No.
No?
No one else is home.
Okay. And do you recall basically what happened?
Yes.
Basically what happened?
My dad came in and told me to take off my clothes and to kneel on the bed. And he closed the blinds and he put the slat underneath the door like he always did. And they told me to bend over the footboard.
This bed had a footboard and a headboard?
Yes.
And did you know what it meant to be told to bend over the footboard?
Yes.
He had had you do that before?
Yes. That's when he tried to have sex with me but wasn't able to.
And did your father put anything on you or ask you to put anything on you?
This time he just did it himself. Usually he told me to.
What was it that was put on you?
He had a Vaseline jar.
And in the past, when he had tried to do this, he had had you put the Vaseline on?
Yes, he put some on himself, and he had me put them on myself.
On this occasion, he put it on you?
Yes.
And what happened?
And he lined himself up and he started going into me like he had always done, but this time he was going in too far. And I said, "Dad, please stop." And I said, "Dad, you're hurting me," and he would just kept on going further. At one point, I just started screaming, and I started saying, "Stop, it hurts, it hurts." And he just went all the way in.
And did that hurt?
Yes.
And how did you react to that pain?
I just sort of died off. I didn't, I stopped screaming, and I just sort of left myself.
You left yourself?
I just pretended that it wasn't happening. I pretended that the pain wasn't happening, and I just went away in my mind. It was too painful.
When it was over, did you cry?
I was crying during it.
Okay. And after it was over, were you still crying?
Yes.
Erik's aunt spoke out about her experiences with him after he confided in her about the abuse. She described a moment when Erik was visibly shaken and distressed, revealing shocking details. She said, "I saw Erik after he had been through something unimaginable. He was scared and traumatized." This testimony adds another layer to the complex narrative surrounding the Menendez brothers.
Well, I had to go to Kitty and Jose's room because it then got to be very late. It was originally like around 6:30, and it now was getting on to be 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I was extremely hungry. It's been a long day. And I knocked on Kitty's door of their room, and Kitty was in the room, but there was no Jose. And she said that he was down in Erik's room.
Did Erik have a room in the same hotel?
Yes, he did. If I can remember right, it was like about 2 to 3 rooms down from their room.
So she told you that Jose's in Erik's room.
Correct.
What happened then?
She then said that we had to wait until Jose came out of Erik's room before we could go to dinner. So
did you wait in her room or return to your room?
no, I went back to my room.
And did you subsequently get information that Jose was now back?
What had happened was I had to go there one more time. I went back to her room and said, "Kitty, it's really getting very late. Why don't we just go down to eat?" And she said, no, it'll only be a few more moments. Jose should be coming out of his room.
And how much time before Jose did come out of Erik's room?
If I can remember right, it was like around 8:30 or 8:45.
And what happened then?
We then were walking down the hallway and...
When you say we...
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Kitty, myself, Brian, and Jose, the 4 of us. And what happened then was we said we would like to go in and see Erik to at least tell him that we thought the game was very well. We were sorry that he lost.
In a deeply emotional conversation, the Menendez brothers' aunt, Marta Cano, opened up about the devastating reality faced by Lyle and Erik as children. She recounted how, over the years, they would confide in her about the unbearable abuse inflicted upon them by their father, Jose Menendez. Marta vividly described Jose as a tyrant who ruled their household with an iron fist, where fear was a constant companion. The brothers revealed chilling accounts of both physical and emotional abuse. Jose would often unleash his fury on them for the smallest infractions, leaving them physically scarred and emotionally shattered. He had a way of manipulating the family dynamic, making it impossible for Lyle and Erik to seek help or escape the nightmare they were living. They felt trapped, with no one to turn to, as their father cultivated an image of respectability outside the home, while behind closed doors, he was a monster. Marta emphasized that the abuse was not just limited to physical violence, it included psychological torment that eroded the boys' self-esteem and sense of safety. Her heartbreaking recollections are a poignant reminder of many's hidden struggles, often silenced by fear and shame. Thank you for watching and being a part of our journey into these compelling stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.